Today has just put out a very interesting story. It's about Pluto. And I think that there's more to it. When I go through this with you, I think you're going to think that too. We're going to talk about why Pluto is all of a sudden emitting like X-rays. Now, you see, that's not normal because it's so far away from the sun. It's not supposed to be doing that, and I'm going to get into that later. Also, for those Mandela lovers out there, I know a lot of people have been asking me to do another video on that, and I will get to it. You know, I'm freaked out by the Monopoly guy not having his monocle too, trust me. There's a lot of weird stuff going on, but the weirdest thing is the fact that there is now a 13th constellation. You know, but what really spooked me out about all this is, well, we're going to get into that today. Hey, listen, thanks for stopping by, and buckle up because it's going to be a rough ride. Okay, so let's start off with the astrology, okay? The astrological signs. So it turns out, right? We always thought there were 12, right? Now I'm a Gemini, June 11th, right? I'm a twin, which is ironic because Jacob Israel's a twin, right? Okay? Well, it turns out that there is now a 13th astrological sign that, you know, we didn't really know about. And a lot of people are freaking out about it. But you know what really what really spooked me out was the fact that, you know, the name is Ophiuchus. Ophiuchus, I believe that's the way you pronounce it. And it means serpent bearer. And basically, it's like a man, and he's dividing. He's got like the head of a serpent in one hand, he's got the tail in the other, and it's kind of dividing the head from the tail of the serpent. And he's kind of smack dab in the middle of the Milky Way there. Kind of an interesting thing. Now, why this is interesting is because the serpent bearer, this astrological sign that we're just now finding out about, okay, is based on, coincidentally, Enki. Yeah, that's right. There's a Nibiru tie here, which is, I think, just fantastic. I think it's ironic that 2009, 2010, all of a sudden, because the Earth has shifted on its axis, so much for people that say that there's no pole shifting going on, because it's shifted after like 3,000 years, all of a sudden, we're now lined up with this astrological sign called Ophiuchus, okay, or Serpentarius. And we weren't lined up with it before. So now, let me get the charts here. So now, you know, if you are, say, a Gemini, like I am, I'm no longer a Gemini. It turns out I'm like a Taurus now. I'm going to go through that right now because I think it's an interesting thing. Now, the new way of doing it, okay, because there's now 13 astrological signs. If you're a Capricorn, January 20th through February 16th. And for those Mandela effect lovers, yes, I know. Capricorn, I don't remember the mermaid tail either. Okay, if you're an Aquarius, now it's February 16th to March 11th. Pisces, March 11th to April 18th. Aries, April 18th to May 13th. Taurus, May 13th to June 21st. Gemini is now 21st of June to July 20th. Cancer is now July 20th to August 10th. Leo is August 10th to September 16th. Virgo, September 16th to October 30th. Libra, October 30th to November 23rd. Scorpio, November 23rd to November 29th. Ophiuchus, November 29th to December 17th. And then Sagittarius is what follows. Okay, so if you're freaked out by that, don't be too freaked out, because if you were born under that sign, you're still probably that sign. But anybody born after, I think, 2009 or 2010, you got a different sign. I'm sorry, but you're gonna have to take it up with NASA, because they quietly kind of like slipped that under the radar earlier this year. NASA has decided to update the astrological chart, and they've said that astrology is not astronomy, kind of saying not to freak out about it, but I think they got enough to freak out about. But before we get into what's going on with Pluto, I wanted to talk to you about Ophiuchus, because this is really interesting. The Serpentarius, the serpent bearer. The fact that it has just now appeared, it's almost like we've entered into like a new age. Now, a lot of people talk about this age of Aquarius and when we're going to enter in, and this new time of enlightenment and peace, and have we entered that? I don't know. I still think that the world is really kind of screwy, and I think that things probably, until man gives up their self-effort and kind of gives it over to, a higher power, love, peace, unity, joy, hope, God, that's what, my father, that's what I call him. But, you can believe what you want. There's room for that. I don't like to tell people what to believe, but I do want you all to question, like I questioned. I said that there had to be more. I look around me at everything behind me and I say something created this. Hence, there's more evidence that something is, has created me, because I'm far more complex than the clock that everybody's so interested in, and the time that it's, it just stopped. So listen, people, Ophiuchus, the serpent bearer. In the scriptures, Moses held up a serpent. See, what was happening was Israel, it's kind of a picture of all of us, humanity, kind of wandering around, in this 40-mile, not even a big desert. It took them 40 years to get from one end to the other, because they basically walked in circles. But they were getting, they were dying. They were getting bit by these serpents, And so Moses had to basically raise up a serpent, kind of put a serpent on a staff and raised it up. Okay? And basically all the people then looked upon that serpent and they were healed. So that's kind of interesting, because that's where we get the medical sign from. It's based on the serpent bearer, which is based on Enki, once again, one of the Sumerian gods. And if you know anything about Sumerian mythology, it's like the oldest known faith. And my goodness, I mean, for people that supposedly didn't have massive technology, the fact that they had the planets and their alignments and everything worked out perfectly, long before we were, burning people at the stake for, saying that the world wasn't flat. So very civilized, very educated civilization. And this is where we get the wonderful tale of Nibiru and the Anunnaki and the Sumerian gods, which are said to have altered our DNA and on are on their way back here again, which, you know, I've talked about a lot. And a lot of coincidence led me to that. Nightmares and interesting, you know, events that I can't even explain. I'm even the lead character in a book. My buddy Bob put me in a book called Aphalon, which is based on Nibiru and the Anunnaki and an alien invasion. Now, I wasn't really into this stuff years ago. This is something that's come to me rather quickly, and I'm new to the subject, so forgive me if I miss things out, but I love studying and I love researching, and I gotta tell you, there is a lot to it. You know, now I look at the scriptures almost in a different light because you can tie this all together. But the thing that is most interesting is the fact that we have discovered more dwarf planets, and we've discovered more, you know, in the Kuiper belt and these trans-Neptunian, you know, planets that are in this interesting orbit, like Niku. And Eris. I mean, we didn't even know these things existed, and all of a sudden, one after the other are being discovered. And now, Pluto. You know, this New Horizons mission, I did a video on this, okay? Where I thought it was fascinating that they said that Eris would be closer to the Earth than it, and everybody said, oh, you know, because of its orbit and blah, blah, blah. Well, that's not really what I was getting at. But what I'm getting at today is the fact that Pluto should not be emitting any kind of X-rays. And that is something that should be questioned because it's too far away from the sun. It's not hot. It's like an icy rock, you know? And the fact that it's now emitting X-rays says that there is, you know, I got to tell you, this is their cover story, right? They're saying that they really don't understand, but they think that, well, maybe some of the sun's charged particles are reaching Pluto, which is baloney. What about the fact that there is possibly that we have a binary twin sun that many have called Nemesis? And what about that getting closer and heating Pluto up, which would make a ton of sense, which is why we see so many changes in many of the other planets right now. Planets that had ice are melting, and all of this perturbation, you know, where all these planets are being, you know, kind of jostled about. That's why they know now that there has to be a Planet X. Like the video I did just 3 weeks ago. I mean, it's now science fact. So all the people that like to say put on your tinfoil hats, well, I say I wear it proudly, okay? Because how much more proof do you need? Pluto is now emitting X-rays, X-rays. And the only way it could be doing that is if it was heating up, because it doesn't have a magnetic field like the Earth does, okay? And how could it be heating up if it's so far away from the sun? Well, possibly, quite possibly, since there's more than 90% of the stars in our, you know, in the universe or multiverse as a whole, they're all binary systems, you know? We are probably, most likely, 90-something% likely to be part of a binary system. This is where Nemesis would come in. This is where planet Nibiru would come in. And this would also explain all these crazy asteroids. Like, I'm sure a lot of people, I didn't want to talk about this one. The asteroid that everybody said was going to be like the Doomsday asteroid that a Chinese, I think it was Purple Mountain Observatory, they found it and it whizzed right past us. why did it whiz right past us? I mean, what got it to come towards us? And why have we never, heard of it and seen it before? Why is NASA going crazy with this asteroid redirection program? Why are they taking samples of asteroid Bennu? If you haven't seen that video, check it out. Did that one a couple of weeks ago too. So let me just read a couple of things that the team leader, Carrie Liss, or Lice, I don't know how to pronounce your last name, has said. We've just detected for the first time X-rays coming from an object in our Kuiper belt and learned that Pluto is interacting with the solar wind in an unexpected and energetic fashion. Okay? It's from Johns Hopkins. Yeah, smart people. We can expect other large Kuiper belt objects to now be doing the same, even though they didn't think it was possible. Well, why do they expect that? Because most likely there's another big sun that's getting closer and closer and heating everything up, which is why also our planet is probably heating up as quickly as it has. Okay, so the two factors, these factors, the sun, strongly suggest that they suggested that this X-ray emission would be totally impossible for Pluto because of its distance, But they've just detected for the first time X-rays coming from it, okay? And they've learned that Pluto is interacting somehow in an unexpected and energetic way. And the report details that Liz says it was really a surprising detection because Pluto, being a cold, rocky, and without a magnetic field, it has no natural mechanism for emitting X-rays. So how is this possible, people? How is this possible? And this is the big news. I mean, this is crazy news. There's just so much craziness going on, We have a 13th astrological sign, which just suddenly appears, possibly ushering in a new day. We say that, planet Nibiru may be on its way. It may be heading towards us and may explain all of these, interesting events that we're seeing all around the world. Massive earthquakes, massive hurricanes, volcanoes, flooding like never before, drought like never before, and of course, war and more war. It's horrible. But I, for one, like always, am very hopeful, because if change is coming, that's a good thing. I was driving today and I was thinking to myself, how just corrupt, the system is. It's just so corrupt and it's so greedy and it's like these slave masters, because we're all slaves. We're all tattooed, with we're given a number, a social security number when we're a number. We're a slave. We're here to just work, right? We're a slave race, sadly. But we're in this world. We don't have to be of it. You could still live your life and be free, and you should follow your passion. But it seems like the world wants to keep you in the slave mentality. I see so many people that are so miserable. And why are they miserable? It's because they believe they're miserable. You see, there is this power, this spirit, this life that is in all of us. And the people that are in control, they understand this. And they don't want any of us to grab hold of that, because the instant we grab hold of the fact that we are more than this, this little ego that we believed ourselves to be, the instant we understand that, all things are possible, right? So if you're going through a hard time right now, and if you're worried about what is to come, fear it's the enemy, and you have to get rid of it because it's not true. Change may come. Sure, we may have terrible events. Sure, we may have war. Sure, all these things are possible, but we are infinite. We are infinite, and there is more. And that's why the more that we put out, the more that we generate from within and sow into the world, the more we're going to reap. Collectively, if we can get together and be kind and compassionate and love and have hope and believe that all things are possible, all things will become possible. This is our world. It was given to us, and we have been tricked into becoming slaves. It's time to be set free. Many people think that if Nibiru and the Anunnaki come, that, we will be set free. There are people that believe that. There are other people that think that we're going to have some kind of a, alien invasion. I don't know. I don't know what to make of it. It's a fun thing to think about. I think that it's a possibility. I think that it's a possibility that there is more, that there is, life out there. I mean, we just got a signal. How long ago? We've been getting them for many times, and of course, the people of SETI didn't want us to know about it, but it got out. And the things that we're finding on a daily basis, I mean, this is exciting. This is exciting. If you're miserable in your life and you just think that you're going nowhere, grab hold of this, people, because change is coming. You have the Serpentarius, holding the serpent. It's up there now. That 13th astrological sign, the master sign, the one that's been hidden, is now revealed. There are a lot of people that think that there's some kind of mystical meaning for this. And what if there is? What if the fact that, Ophiuchus is, kind of a herald of sorts? And as Moses raised up that serpent, right? And everybody looked upon that serpent and everybody was healed, right? And there's that connection to the healing and in that astrological sign. And even Jesus, he was compared to that serpent. As Moses raised up the serpent, it said, so must the Son of Man be raised up to whoever believes on him, okay? So it's about, seeing what it is that is troubling you, raising it up and understanding what it is. What was killing Israel were the serpents. And once they understood that, they could get over it because they were asleep when these serpents were attacking. And we've been asleep in our life. And now, right, the light is shining and the truth is there. It's time to live for more. It is time to live for more. So, NASA can come up with stories that says that Pluto is emitting X-rays and not say that it's a possibility there's another sun heading our way. They don't have to tell us that, right? But they have to say something. But we can say what we want to say because it's just our opinion. I'm just some guy talking to you. And I love the fact that you took the time to talk to me. Start spreading the word. Get it out there. Do me a favor and like this video or share it. Share it. Yeah, subscribe. Please subscribe. Check out the other videos. Man, I love you all. And I'm so grateful that you took the time to, to just listen to me. Go on and on and on. And I gotta tell you, I think the future is bright. And I think that there is some